Good evening, ma'am. My name is Asla Harisha. I am from CSCE. Now I am here about to say on topic encoders and decoders. Now let us discuss about decoder. Decoder is the logic circuit that converts n-bit binary input codes into m output lines, where only one output line is activated. So there are many types of decoders such as 2 to 4 line decoder, 3 to 8 line and 4 to 16 line decoder. And now let us see about 3 to 8 line decoder. In 3 to 8 line decoder, we give 3 inputs. Those 3 inputs are taken as 2 power 3 combinations, that is 8 combinations, and produces 8 outputs. So now let us see the truth table of the decoder. So same as like encoder, here we need enable switch to activate the circuit. So if enable is 0, we does not get any output. If enable is 1, and if we give the combination as 0 0 1, the D0 line is activated. And if we give the input as 0 0 1, the D1 line is activated, where 1 means 0 0 1 in terms of binary code. If we give 0 1 0, then D2 is activated. 0 1 1, then D3 is activated. 1 0 0, then D4 is activated. For any one output line to be activated, the enable switch must be 1. So now for D5, 1 0 1, if we give as input, D5 line is activated. 1 1 0, if it is given as input, D6 line is activated. 1 1 1, then D7 line is activated. For each AND gates, enable is given as the input. So now for D0, here X is 0, Y is 0 and Z 0. So X is 0, Y is also 0, Z is also 0. So we get here D0 as output. So for D1, 0 0 1. So X is 0, Y is also 0, Z is 1. We get D1 as output. For D2, 0 1 0, 0, Y is 1, and again Z is 0. We get D2 as output. For D3, 0 1 1, so 0, Y is 1 and Z is 1. For D4, it's 1 1 0, so X is 1, Y is 0 and Z is 0. For D5, it is 1 0 1, so X is 0, X is 1, Y is 0 and Z is 1. For D6, it is 1 1 0, so X is 1, Y is 1 and Z is 0. So D6. Then for D7, it is 1 1 1, X is 1, Y is 1 and Z is 1. So this is the circuit diagram for the encoder, for decoder, and this is the circuit truth table for the decoder. So same decoder and encoder. So now what is encoder? Encoder is a combinational circuit which converts 2 power n inputs to n outputs. So here there are types of encoders, 8 to 3 line encoders and 16 to 4 line encoders. Now let us see about 8 to 3 line encoder. 8 to 3 line encoder is an encoder that is a combinational circuit which converts 2 power 3, that is 8 inputs to 3 outputs. So we give the 8 inputs to the encoder and it produces 3 outputs, and at a time only one output line is activated. Let's see the truth table for 8 to 3 line encoder. For 8 to 3 line encoder, we will give the another input, that is E, where E is enable. If enable is 0, then the main circuit is not on, so we does not get any output. So when the switch is on, like when the enable is on, that is when E is 1, then we get the following outputs. If E is 1 and when only one D0 is given as input, we get the output as 0 0 0. when E is 1 and D1 is activated, then we get 0 0 1. If E is in the same way, when D3 is 1, we get 0 1 1. When it is D4, we get 1 0 0. When D5 is 1, we get 1 0 1. And when D6 is 1, we get 1 1 0. Where 1 1 0 represents 6 in binary code. When D7 is 1, we get respective binary code as output, that is 1 1 1. So this is the truth table for the encoder. Now let's see the circuit diagram. To draw the circuit diagram for the encoder, we need 3 OR gates. So for those 3 OR gates, we need to give some inputs as the sum of these all inputs. How we will give is A0. For A0, 1 comes for D1 and 1 comes for D3 and 1 comes for D5 and 1 comes for D7. So these all are given as input for the A0 gate. So since we have written here, A0 gives D1 plus D3 plus D5 plus D7. Similarly for A1. For A1, 1 comes for D2, 1 comes for D3 and 1 comes for D6 and 1 comes for D7. So D2, D3, D6, D7 sum. A2. For A2, we get ones where we get 1 for D4, 1 for D5, 1 for D6 and 1 for D7. These all are summed. Now let us see the circuit diagram. Here E is the enable switch. D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6 and D7 are the inputs given. So as we know, we got 3 outputs. We require 3 OR gates. For every OR gate, enable is given as the input since the circuit has to be activated. Now for A0, D1 is given as input, D3 is given as input, D5 and D7. For A2, D2 is given as input, D3, D6 and D7. For A2, D4, D5, D6 and D7 are given as input. So this sum we get A0 and these all are summed, we get A1. When these are summed, we get A2 as the output. Thank you.